Okay, the crypto market has been going absolutely insane again over the past couple of days. And maybe, just maybe, you're not realizing it just quite yet, but exactly what is happening right now, I've been trying to explain for the last couple of weeks. What we're seeing right now is Bitcoin slowly but surely making new all-time highs. Just now we hit $126,000 per Bitcoin. We're slowly getting up there. What I've been saying over the past couple of days is that this is not the point where altcoins usually full ascend. Every single time that Bitcoin did this previously, alts kind of went on a slow, I don't know how to call it better, like a little stair type of movement. But a little bit after Bitcoin had its phase of making new all-time highs, altcoins just fully freaking sent. And that's kind of what we're waiting for right now. Many of our favorite altcoins actually are not breaking the all-time high barriers. I mean, a couple of sectors that I already explained to you guys would do extremely well, and for what reason, are doing well. BNB, for example, just now hit $1, $2, $3, $4. Every single exchange token, look back over the past couple of months, one of my biggest holdings actually is BNB. But a few months ago also, it turned to MNT. And 𝗬𝗓𝗄 token, those three specifically, out of which now, funnily enough, even though I had a pretty good percentage of my portfolio in BNB, MNT now took over because all of a sudden it decided to do a 6x over a little short period. And also DEX tokens, all of them have been doing really well. Astra had itself a little hiccup, but it's doing still well, pretty much so. We also had ourselves Apex and, well, DEXs, exchanges. All these right now seem to still be extremely hot. To get back to the topic though, right now there's not really any clear pattern for the rest of them. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say, well, yeah, this is really the best period for everybody in crypto. No, it's probably not. Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high really doesn't make me that happy on its own. It's the idea of what comes next that makes me so excited. And so over the past couple of days, all I've been saying here is, whoa, remember what happened in previous times. Remember what we've been saying. Remember what we expect happens next. And it's based on this expectation that we handle. It's based on this expectation that we take action. So even though it might sound counterintuitive, you might think it's stupid, I've actually been adding to my altcoin positions rather than taking profits. Some have been saying, well, Bitcoin's at an all-time high, so we should start selling then, right? You've said before that this, between September and basically January of 2026, so September 2025, January 2026, it's going to be the end of the season. So should we start by selling? And it's a double-edged sword. The reason I think some people could start shaving their holdings here is because you want to have a good stablecoin stash for in case of one shenanigans type of correction here in the middle. Because we've actually, if you really start breaking it down, not had a really proper correction in a while. Sure, we had ourselves those 2 liquidation days, but when you break it down, they were just very, let's call it unexpected. But in reality, Bitcoin really didn't even drop that much. We didn't go to like 99,000 or something, ridiculous, really shaking people, really getting them wrecked properly. But also, it's just nicer to get some more stables as time progresses because, well, that way you're making progress. If you're not a person that just likes to stack only, coins, only BTC, only Solana, only XRP or ETH, whatever. However, my point more so being that you want to buy as the market is low and sell as the market is high. You have to remember that it's still a cash flow game. If you don't have a strong income, for most people, it's not that viable to just only hold coins and eventually in a few years borrow against their coins, never having to sell them, just like you can do with stocks, right? Let's say you have a few $1 million in stocks. Well, the goal is not actually to sell those stocks. It's to potentially borrow dollars against it at either a lower rate or, well, I'll use it as an example. You expect on average your stocks to appreciate by, let's say, 10% every single year. You can perhaps borrow against that for maybe 7% a year as an example, or maybe even less, maybe 4%, 5%, 5.5%. You can actually split the difference right there, right? That way, you don't have to sell any of the stocks. They'll appreciate more than whatever you're borrowing for, so you're still bagging a little difference on it right there. Has some other challenges involved, but I'm just saying as the idea that, well, the goal is not necessarily to perhaps get rid of it. It's just to see your capital grow over time. It's depending, of course, on what phase of wealth you're in. But getting back to the drawing board, we should never forget that November 2022 was the low point though, right? That was the bottom of the season. Well, usually it's 3 years of up, 1 year of down. We have done those 3 years of up practically next month. I mean, Bitcoin did go from some crazy lows to 126,000. Just because alts have not fully sent it yet doesn't, promise you that they will. There's a very high likelihood though. But that's the difference between selling everything and being done versus being careful about it, being logical about it, which is if I had, for example, half my portfolio in BTC, I'd probably start shaving off the BTC, putting it into different coins that had not rallied as much, for example. But the same applies to BNB, right? Since it's been going on such an astronomical run, doesn't mean it can't go further. I mean, BNB could literally go to the second position, triple in value, for example, without it being that crazy. I mean, the market would definitely shake up a lot, but when you start looking at it right now, BNB can easily overtake XRP here within just a few days. It's only $10 billion worth of a difference, right? Ethereum, of course, is way heavier. I'm just stating that if it, for example, gets to 550 billion, so basically almost the second spot, right? Sure, it'd be a little bit of a strange thing to witness because of the crazy appreciation of a third or fourth largest crypto asset in the entire world. But on the counter, I mean, it's Binance, is the biggest crypto exchange out there. And I don't know if there's anything necessarily stopping it from happening, especially because BNB's sell pressure from that angle might actually be quite low because Binance also wants to see it appreciate, right? What I mean with it is people like to put caps on it saying, okay, you know what, BNB or MNT here, we can start selling because we've done well. But if Bitcoin, has only started right now and actually ends up at 250K, for example, a lot of these coins can still 5, 6, 7X. Then again, I still sometimes do believe it's smart to rotate over into the next plays. But again, and that's sometimes why I like to make these videos, there's not really one single answer. And my strategy for this entire run very much so has been to do the bots. And really, when you start looking at the performance of them, it is, I have to log back in. Okay, that is really quite cumbersome. I was going to say it really has been quite staggering just seeing the numbers on these, just seeing how absolutely crazy they've been doing. And for that, again, if you're interested in the bots, it's all automatic, it's all copyable. Check out the links down below. It's one of the best things I've ever found out about. But I was going to say, the reason there's always two parts to a story is because even though I say rotating from BTC, for example, to another alt, I said just now as well that BNB is a double one. Why? Well, to a certain extent in trading, it is almost always a good idea to feed your winners. Whatever's working well, in trading, we expect the trend that's ongoing to continue. Why? It's easier to go with the flow than trying to be that, I don't know how you say this saying again. Let's say, I was going to say dozen and a dime, but there's a way to say it, I forgot. You guys will correct me in the comments for that. You know the saying that I was trying to look for, right? But it's easier to just go with the flow, whatever's happening, than being the person that says, nope, this is overvalued, all right? They've been buying this too much. This collapses now. There's a very high chance that, you're not that good. It's just realistically true that you're not the person who's spotting the oddity out there. And even if you are, very often it takes a little bit of time to get to whatever you think is going to happen. And that's why one of the reasons I also think The Big Short is such a misguiding movie, because it gives the idea that if you go against whatever's been working well, you can make a frick ton. It's true in essence that you make a lot of freaking money if you collapse on the downfall of something, just like we saw with Luna. However, look back at Luna, right? If you just gone with the flow, you would have probably made as much, if not more, than going against it. Or rather, if you went against it and you went against it slightly too early, you may have lost all your money in the process anyway because, shorts can get liquidated pretty quickly on a pump, right? So for example, BTC, there's a good chance eventually we do have a good crash. And there's a good chance that if you start shorting any of the coins you see in front of you, I'm not 100% sure, of course, on this, but there's a good chance that they at some point will see a value lower than they are currently. But the question is, how much pain and how much time will you have to endure before, before that happens? Whereas with longs, this is what I always love. That's why I only open long bots. I see all these coins as infinitely up, meaning I see Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana. In my opinion, they will for sure, this is an opinion, not financial advice, not a guarantee of course. in my opinion, they will see higher prices than we're seeing today. So all I have to do is just be patient enough. And well, with the strategies I've got, I can't get wrecked on the way down. So it's just basically being patient. Whereas with shorts, that's extremely difficult unless you've got an infinite freaking bankroll. But also, that I'm not so sure about, because I don't know if Bitcoin is actually going to go lower than it is today. I just suppose that at some point it will probably be lower than it is right now today. But I'm not really sure. I wouldn't say, oh yeah, I'm very confident. I just kind of think so. Whereas with up, I'm very freaking confident. That's make these runs so much easier. Side note, by the way. If you're wondering, Dusty, why are you sounding a little bit cracked up? It is 4 a.m. But since Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high, I could not sleep. And here comes again another point, all right? Today is not that informative, it's more mindset. Because essentially, all you need in a good market is to have your right mind working. You don't need to be that smart in the sense that you don't need to make that many plays. They will mostly just come. It's just right in front of you, right? All you have to do is just buy and shut up and not do anything, and it would have worked out. But this is really, again, the season coming up most likely where you don't sleep as much no more. And that's the nice thing about quiet markets like the last couple of weeks. You can do other stuff. You can go outside. You can go for dinners. You go sleep without worrying too much about the price. And of course, if the market comes down crumbling, you also have this sleep issue, but more when markets go up. I really am telling you right now, if the markets really go up hard, I really feel the majority of the FOMO in those type of markets. When you start seeing people post their P&Ls, when you start realizing that the fun will soon all be over and we'll go back to the depressing times, you know, at some point it's just going to hit you. And if it hasn't hit you yet, it's because you've not made enough gains just quite yet. But really, the more the market goes up, the more you think, ooh, should I sell? How much should I sell? And if you do sell, then you think, ooh, I could have run this way more. But if you don't sell, you're like, ooh, but I could lose all this. It's an everlasting struggle. It will never get easier. But I guess it does stack, you know. Every single bull market, hopefully you make a little bit more schmeckles, to which at some point, you know, it's just a number on the screen, I guess, because I don't have any emotions left, but yeah. Oh, shit. Sometimes I realize maybe you can't even hear me when I do my little soft talks like that. What all I was saying was I don't got no more emotions left, all right? I'm looking at these things. They're just numbers on a screen. I feel nothing anymore, even though I'm losing so much money sometimes. This hour, when I really start breaking it down, just going down 0.4% in an hour, that's a significant amount of money that I just lost. Every single time I refresh my freaking app, the amount of money that this moves, some people would go to war over, I think. And I feel nothing. But that's the goal. So if you still feel something for your portfolio, you got to work freaking harder, because I want to see you numb. Oh, that sounded so strange. It's kind of a strange thing to say, right? But yeah, I think most people will witness it over time. Anyway, whoa, really excited for the market that's yet to pop up here. And again, all I'm saying is, even though we can have some more turbulent times in the middle, remember that the last couple of times that Bitcoin was making new all-time highs slowly but surely, most alts didn't do anything, but they slowly stairwayed themselves up. Look at this. Ethereum is at 4,700. It feels like it's not moving much, but it's at 4,700. It's basically almost back at all-time high. It was just now at 3,900. And the same applies to a lot of these coins, man. Solana's back at 235. It's up quite a lot again from the bottoms. And so it goes for a lot of these coins. Dogecoin, not that much, but you get it. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with a proper video. Just wanted to quickly get this out there. Man, do I love these crypto coins. They're not always fun to look at, but these are good-ass freaking times, and I'm happy. Happy that you guys stuck with me throughout these bearish times. Now, hopefully, we can enjoy the good ones from here on.